Hey everybody, Massachusetts Prepper here. Today we're doing a review on the Sog Trident TF1 CP tactical knife. Now this is a fast opening assisted technology knife from Sog. Has a integrated line cutter right here built into the handle of this knife. Now the handle is made of durable glass reinforced nylon. Sog's patented arc actuator helps the Trident to lock up strong and release a lot easier. Now I'll see if I can get this so you can see it. The moving part in there moves out of the way to release this blade, and the blade locks back in to a little groove where this little moving part pulls out to release the blade. It locks back in and gives it a secure lockup. On the face of this knife, right here, we'll find an external lock. When that's pushed down, the blade is secure, won't come undone. Flip it up and it releases the blade again. Now as you can see, with the blade closed, you can see that cutting edge, and that allows for any kind of line cutting, whether it be fishing line, paracord, string, whatever, you can pull right through there and cut it. It's not the best cutting surface because you're using this part of the blade right here and only that part, and that's your main cutting edge. Whenever you're doing any kind of cutting, you're going to be pushing down on that and drawing. So unless you keep this really sharp, it's going to make this utility spot on the knife work a little bit harder, I think, when you start pulling paracord or something through there. Now the handle length of this knife is 4.75 inches. The handle thickness at the thickest spot, where you have the little release knob here for the lock, and on the other side is 0.61 inches. The overall length of the knife from tip to end is 8.5 inches. The blade length is 3.75 inches with a blade thickness of 0.13 inches. The cutting edge on this knife is 3.5 inches, and the blade material is Aus 8 steel. The blade style is a clip point, and the blade grind is flat. The weight of this knife comes in at 3.60 ounces. The internal frame of this knife is made out of stainless steel, so it gives it some nice durability. Now there is jimping on the handle and the blade itself, and the jimping on the handle is more or less just for show, and I feel that the same way with the jimping on the knife blade. It doesn't really bite into your thumb, so I mean your thumb feels like it wants to slide just a little bit on here, so I don't feel like you can get a really good purchase. Now there's adequate contours in the knife handle, and this is a long knife handle. I mean, this thing fills your entire hand and then hangs right out. So it does give you a good solid grip, even though the jimping is not, you know, as aggressive as it could be. Now, this does have a serrated blade, which is quite aggressive. The overall sharpness of this blade feels very, very sharp. Now to give you an example of how this cutter works, it has no problem right now. The knife is relatively new, and it does cuts right through the paracord with, ease. A little bit difficult at this angle, but you get the gist of it. It does go right through. Now this does have a thumb stud to activate this knife, and it's really quick. It jumps right out there. It is a big knife, and even though you can get a hold of it and close that, there could be a small risk of cutting yourself. So all in all, I would just close it with two hands. It's a big knife. My impressions of this knife is it's super fast, really aggressive blade design. I think really like the way it looks. The handle is quite a bit longer than the blade, but when it comes to really getting a hold of this knife and getting a good purchase on it, that extra handle gives you a nice big area to grab onto, so you can really get some good pressure if you were carving or doing some kind of heavy cutting with this knife. The blade is going to hold up. It's got a nice finish. This is just another one of their fine examples of a well-made knife. The Sog Trident, and they're running like $59 at Walmart. All in all, really good knife. I don't see much use in using the lock. I think that could get in the way if it got locked and you're trying to get the knife open. If it was in a self-defense situation, you may not be able to do that. In a review that Nut and Fancy did on this knife, he said he super glues this up so it can't be engaged. That way there's never any chance of him going to open that knife and it not opening. And that might be a pretty good idea, because this does engage relatively easy. It doesn't take much pressure to lock that blade. So that might be something that I will do with this knife, is super glue it in the always open position. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good everyday carry knife. Tactical situations, I don't know how good this would be, and after using it a lot and then trying to cut a seatbelt with it or something like that, I'm not sure how well that would hold up unless you really kept this sharp every day. There is a nice big lanyard hole in this. Have no trouble getting doubled 550 cord through there. And the pocket clip on the Sog Trident is a really deep carry pocket clip. Now this is tip up carry only, right or left hand side. But that pocket clip, when this is sitting in your pocket, it's going to be virtually invisible except for the clip. That's all you're going to see sticking out of your pocket. So for a big knife, this is going to be a very stealthy knife. I will carry this knife for a couple of weeks and then do a follow-up review, let people know what I like and dislike about the knife. First impressions, I just think it's a really good knife. There's a little bit of texturing on this glass-filled nylon handle. Gives it enough traction so it's not going to be overly aggressive in your pocket. Not really going to tear your pocket up. And I really don't think it's going to be that slick if your hands were wet. I think you'd still be able to get a good purchase on this. So overall, very nice knife. Not a bad price point at all. And it's another fine offering by Sog, $50 to $60 range. So if you're looking for a knife with a larger handle, aggressive blade design, then the Sog Trident might just be the one for you. So this is the Massachusetts Preppers take on the Sog Trident TF1 CP. And until next time, take care. Now, most of us, we go to the kitchen faucet, turn the valve on, fresh, clean water comes running out, and we get a drink. We cook with it, we bathe with it, we water our gardens with it. You know, we do all kind of things. Now, to give you an example of how this cutter works, it has no problem right now. The knife is relatively new, and it does, you know, go right through this. Not so well.